All right, all right, all right. Hello, hello, Victor. So happy to have you. Let me first say, Victor is a local wonder, and I am so pleased to have him come to our Startup Grind Local Wonder series. The Local Wonder series is for not normally be able to come and tell more about who they are, what they're doing. And also, we all have a story that has tons of lessons that we've learned. And so there's advice that you can share with others. So happy to have you here. I had a beautiful, pleasant conversation with him, and he gave me so much value. It was like he gave me like 2 hours of his time, and then gave me so much information. I had to go take it back and think about it, and I'll get back with you. But I'm so happy to have him here. Victor, tell us about you, your story. What's going on? Yes.
Well, first, thank you so much for having me on your show. It's a pleasure to be here. I so appreciate the opportunity to talk a little bit about my story, but more importantly, kind of share a moment with some like-minded individuals and have a conversation. Um, Again, as you mentioned, we had a great conversation a while back, and it was just as fruitful and rewarding for me as it was for you as well. So thank you for that. Um, so to give you a little background, my story is that I didn't necessarily start out as an entrepreneur. I started out working in the corporate world and had a really rewarding job. I started my career as an engineer with a large company called Snyder Electric. And I spent a total of 11 years with Snyder in different capacities and thought that I would retire in the energy world. That's the industry that Snyder operates in. And lo and behold, about 7 years ago, my dad was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And as I started to get more involved with, his health and wellness, what I recognized was there was a glaring opportunity for healthcare to be better. It was completely backwards to me. And that really started me thinking about avenues to really add value to something I became very passionate about. No one likes to see their loved ones suffer. It affects the entire family. And I guess the analogy that really resonated with me is that in the energy space, in the world that I was very familiar with, we have what we call critical assets. And with those critical assets, we have to protect them in a very proactive way. Some of them are part of our national security. So the question that I ask people to help them really understand what's different in that world versus the way we treat the most critical asset, our livelihoods, is that what if we have a nuclear reactor and we know that that's very, important? Would it be wise to let that nuclear reactor start melting down and then go in and try to fix it once it starts to melt down? And most people would say, absolutely not. And they would be right. But unfortunately, that ridiculous approach is the approach that's what we do consistently in healthcare with the most critical asset. And so 6 years ago, I decided I was going to make a move. That move became known as Excellent Life, where what we do at Excellent Life is we develop a software and a mobile application that collects information from wearable devices, other software applications, and we have users to enter in information directly as well. We analyze that. We provide real-time insights about an individual's health and wellness. And the whole goal of Excellent Life is really to improve quality of life for all by advancing wellness, and in the process, make the world a better place. That became kind of the mission and goal of the company. And fast forward 6 years later, and here we are kind of chugging along and making slow but gradual process. And in that slow and gradual progress rather, there are a lot of lessons that I learned along the way. So we'd love to share, those lessons as well.
Amazing. Okay, so it all started with you cherishing your father and wanting to make sure that other people do not have the same experience.
Right. And so, my dad, who has a reduced quality of life because of, type 2 diabetes and the things that it can lead to, that's a very disease. It's, pervasive across the globe. It's a disease that's completely preventable, like many other diseases. And it made no sense to me why other people would have to experience the pain of having something like that or having a loved one have something like that. And that became kind of a driving force behind everything that I do.
Well, something that I think that you and I talked about earlier is the medical industry. And also I'm a therapist, so the mental health industry, how people don't feel safe there.
Yeah.
So if you have this app, right,
Mhm.
you're just computing information. It's data that you're putting in. So it's not like anyone's gonna judge you, because that's the problem too. You go in, you don't want people to judge you
Mhm.
for what you have done or what has happened in your life to cause you to be in the state that you're in.
Right.
It's coming, and it's not a safe place. I have helped plenty of people, like sat in the lobby with them so they go to the doctor. People are afraid to
Mhm.
go and um to to get the care that they need. Also, the care, it doesn't sometimes it doesn't equal out for everybody the same way it is for certain people.
No, it doesn't. There is a lot of discrepancy uh, in the way healthcare is applied, depending on a lot of factors. And there's an underserved community that, at the end of the day, doesn't get the same level of healthcare provided. Some of the reasons is that it's cost prohibitive. There are other reasons as well that we can all imagine. But the point is that healthcare as an industry is not really designed with the good of the individual in mind. It's designed that, in a way where healthcare treats
Say
sickness,
it.
and
Yeah.
that's a very critical factor in some of the horrible outcomes that we get. We have to get to a point where healthcare is designed to really lengthen life and increase quality of life, which we have the technology to do that today.
Wow. And so you're really speaking to some dynamics that is occurring that a lot of people don't want to talk about, and how, yeah, it's about going in and they're giving you medication because they're tied to the pharmaceutical companies, and some pharmaceutical companies are paying off the doctors, and the doctors and the pharmaceutical companies are making more medications that have side effects, right?
Yeah, it's an interesting, I guess, web of connections that play a heavy role in the way the healthcare system works. And as you mentioned, the pharmaceutical companies and the insurance companies are, major stakeholders. And while I think they're good actors in both industries and do have, a great desire to see people live healthy and well lives, as an industry, the way they make their dollars is contrary to what is good for the human body. And I
Mm.
think there are a
Wait
lot
a
of
minute,
innovative.
wait a minute. Say that one
Hmm?
more time. The way they
So
make their dollars is
contrary to what's good for the human body, it's just it's business for them at some level. And but the ironic thing is that for the individual, uh, I don't know that any individual that is, a reasonable person is going to put any business or any type of profit over their health. And they might make decisions unknowingly or make decisions because they're making short-term decisions versus long-term decisions that put their health in jeopardy. But given the choices and given the information, most people would choose to improve their health and wellness and make sure that they're protecting themselves from the illnesses that are out there if they have a choice and if they're aware of that. And part of the technology that we're bringing to the table is to give them the insights and the knowledge to know that they have choices and they have options so that they can really effectively become the owner and the manager of their own health.
yes. So ultimately, the goal is also to empower them to take ownership for themselves and ownership for their health. and understand that doctors are here. They actually, you're paying them. You're paying doctors. But you
Right.
know what? It's so funny that we forget that when we walk in the door, that they may be an expert in what they do, but they're not an expert on you.
No, they're not. And really, to get the greatest result, there has to be a collaboration between the doctor and the individual. And the way to really maximize that collaboration is that you arm the individual with a lot of knowledge about what's going on with themselves and the way they feel, and you create a very sharing and trusting relationship. And technology that we have and others can make that understanding and knowledge about individual health very available to them.
Excellent. And so your app does that. And not just your app, it seems like to me it's you have a overall mission to make a better world. Tell me more
Yeah,
about that.
sure. So, yeah, there are a lot of things that I think as an individual we may experience as a part of our journey that we feel like, well, you know what, that's just not right. Something should change about that. And I think many times uh, we might just stop at a point of being frustrated. We might vent about it, but we don't necessarily take the
Yeah.
power that we have as an individual to do something about it. And when you walk down a certain journey and you have certain experiences, I felt like it was just something I needed to take ownership of. Where if I see things that I'm not feeling good about, I believe could be different, then I have to take the action myself to improve those things. And that's kind of the way that I move forward. That's the way our company operates, and that's the way that I live my life.
Okay. So you have, that's a value for you. The value is to do something, right? To
Mhm.
be to be motivated to do something about injustices and issues that you see in life. Tell me other values that you have.
Well, that's a pretty broad topic. I can talk about some specific things that really resonated with me that make up part of that value. Just, having a chance to travel to see different parts of the world. When I was in the corporate world, I'd be traveling and hop on a plane, and I would see retirees get on the plane and they'd be going to some really cool places. It might be, Europe, Hawaii, probably all these cool places. And I would think, how come my parents can't hop on a plane like that and travel? And it would be, either they didn't have the money to do so, or maybe didn't have the health to do so, in a later point in time. And then I felt like, well, that's totally unfair because I know my parents have really worked incredibly hard their entire
Yeah.
career to provide for myself and my brother. And I just felt like, that's not an isolated incident where, you have hardworking folks but can't really live the life, even in retirement, that many others can. And I started really digging into why is that the case. And when you start looking at the way generational wealth is created, really it's created through entrepreneurship, it's created through politics, created through the stock market. Those three things are kind of tied together. And I really started working on avenues to really make sure that future generations as a part of my family could take advantage of some of the nice things in the world, and I could also at some point open up some opportunities for other people who may be tired of kind of going through the system the way it's designed for us to go through, which is kind of the take maybe portions of what is available to a broader audience. And for me, that wasn't really sitting well. I'm not one to continue to raise my hand and say, can I do this? Can I do that? I'm one to see an opportunity and really take the steps to really do what it takes to receive that opportunity. And that became a big part of why I do what I do.
Amazing. Yes. So you take ownership.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you don't take ownership, you really lose the power that you have. And, everybody that I see, I'm an eternal optimist. I see amazing people. I see amazing, greatness in everybody that I meet. The challenge is that most people don't really see that in themselves. And, I believe that when you really truly understand that, there are amazing things that everyone can accomplish. I just happen to believe that, by myself, and try to surround myself with people like yourself and others who encourage that, taking chance and stepping forward, being your best. And I try to do that, for others as well. Just, always encouraging people.
Exactly. It is matters on who you're around. Because,
Yeah, it
I
makes a
mean,
huge difference.
yeah, it makes it easier instead of trying to drag people to change or understanding. If you're around individuals who understand, who already get it, right? They already get it. One thing you mentioned was knowing yourself or understanding yourself. Let's talk more about that.
Yeah. So yeah, I think a lot of it is environmental and condition. Based on my upbringing, my parents really instilled a lot of confidence. They always told me that I could do anything that I wanted to do. They always supported me, and so through that, there was a lot of confidence that developed. But also, they instilled in me the value of working incredibly hard. And I think that, that's something that we can all control. So if you put forth an incredible amount of effort towards something, I think it's natural that you bring confidence to the table in whatever you're working hard to be good at. And, unfortunately, a lot of times people mistake, uh, they don't understand that confidence and humility can exist. They can coexist. And so I, uh, I never want to offend anybody with confidence, but I'm always going to move with confidence because I know how hard and how hard I work and how much effort I put into the activities that I take a part in. But I am amazed at what I can learn by every conversation that I have.
Yes.
Just and that's really the trick, just to move forward with confidence, know that you have incredible gifts, but also be listening for those opportunities to learn something with every conversation that you have.
Wow, Victor, you just said something. You can have confidence and humility. They can coexist. You are correct. And to be able to be like, for example, you are an expert in providing this preventative tool for individuals so that they can optimize their health. Um, Yet you're willing to have conversations with people and learn about what's going on with them and how to be better, or what can you gain from the interaction, because we're about interacting and being communal. Now listen, you mentioned also traveling around, right?
Mhm.
What your experience traveling around, how is it different in American, living in America and working in America, and your interactions with individuals internationally?
Oh, it's a completely different perspective that you have when you have a chance to travel, and you travel different places here. It might be a bad area, it might be a poor area. Then you travel to a different country and you see that, okay, well, their poor area is a lot poorer than our poor area. Or you see people that are really struggling in different ways. And you have conversations with some of these people, and you start to get outside perspectives of how they view the U.S. And you understand that it's a really big world, and we're all in this world together. And there's not necessarily just right and wrong. There are a lot of gray areas as it pertains to different approaches of doing things. So for me, it has really, opened my eyes and made me much more open-minded about, the approach to the way you may do anything in life and not be so judgmental. Because there are a lot of different cultures and, a lot of great people doing things in different ways.
Yes, yes. So being open minded and not judgmental. That Yeah, I think that the closed mindedness is what causes us to have limits that's around us, and then it stops the confidence that you have because you're around individuals that limit you, or you're limiting yourself.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
okay, go ahead.
no, so that's absolutely right. I mean, many times you have an idea like, oh, I want to go do this, and I'm going to go where you know to go because it's next door, and you knock on the door, and it's, oh no, that's not going to work. And the first thing that is, I mean, it may be natural for you to do is like, okay, pull back because someone that someone in your community has told you no, but
Yes,
that's not what you should do. You should recognize that your community, that person, that door that you knocked on, that's just a small part of what you have available to you. It's an entire world out there. A lot of people talk about, Nashville being healthcare, IT, this mecca, this place, which it is. It's growing up really fast. A lot of cool things happening in Nashville. But I've heard 1,000 no's in Nashville. Probably in a year. I probably in a course 6 years, 6,000 no's. None of them mean anything to me.
Yes.
Um, Only the yeses. And so I get yeses, maybe a few from Nashville, but I get the yeses from outside of Nashville. And we just recently closed our first commercial deal. I probably had 100 reasons to stop on any given week, but because of a persistent, I guess nature, attitude, and understanding the opportunities that are out there beyond your community, um, it never made sense to stop, especially when this is like in line with my purpose.
Yes. Whew, that was powerful. So you're gonna get no's. And it's you know what? It reminds me of whenever you're leveling up, you have individuals who knew you or think things about you, and they want to keep you where they know you to be. And you're like, that's not where I am, and that's not where I'm going. And that um I can't be the view of who you think I am right now when I'm not that anymore. I'm somewhere else. So let me move and interact with the people who I can they're a fresh relationship, and I
Mhm.
can let them know who I am instead of people trying to tell me who I am. Because I was that person. Yes, I like that person. I love that person. But right now, I'm another person. I have leveled up. And so I need to be involved with people who are willing to say yes.
And absolutely. I think everybody's in a process of growing and evolving. That's just, a natural part of life. I think the thing that's really, really important is that as you go through that natural evolution, you understand that everybody may not get your journey. It's not for everybody to get. And, you don't necessarily have to take it personal. You just got to keep it moving because once you start getting too focused on the nose, too focused on the barriers, you're not focused on what you need to do to move forward. And you gotta everything you do, you just have to take ownership.
Everybody don't get your journey. It's so true. It's if everybody was on your journey, it wouldn't be meant for you to do it.
Now you have people that are outside of your journey that have never done what you do, but they will have a whole list of things you need to do in order for you to achieve something they never tried. And I, and for whatever reason, people will let that distract them. and in and you hear all sorts of things when you're on your mission and you're focused and you're going to make mistakes. You still got to move forward. You learn from your mistakes. But if you let people spin you around in circles by pulling you right, pulling you left, and you got to filter in and out the advice that you're getting. You're going to have some amazing advice that you got to be willing to take. And sometimes people give you advice with good intentions, but it's not the advice that you should take. um, it's just a part of your learning process and growth process. And you can best do that when you are confident. And you're going to be confident when you put in the time and effort. Um, I draw a lot of analogies to sports. And I'd say basketball is my first love. And so if I go out in the gym and I'm shooting, 100 3-pointers, 1,000 3-pointers, and I'm knocking down a high percentage, is it really going to matter to me that somebody tells me I can't shoot a 3-pointer? No, because I'm going to go out there and knock down shots just like I always do. And so in the same sense, if I'm about my business and I'm studying, I'm practicing, and I'm learning, is it really going to matter that somebody tells me that no, it's not. I'm going to keep doing what I do. And I think that's the attitude that it takes when you're an entrepreneur.
Yes, you are correct. It's a knowing. You have to know yourself. So if somebody says something like, for example, somebody say, "You're a white woman," I'm gonna say, "Okay," and I'm gonna keep on being a black woman because I'm looking at them like they strange because they told me something that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing with everything else. Somebody say something. If it don't fit, I know myself and I know what don't fit and what fit. Now, if it shows up and it's something that was from the past and you have a twinge of an emotion that happens because of that, then it's not for you to change course. It's for you to go down deep and figure out what's happening inside of you. And this is the therapist coming out. What's happening inside of you, so that is bothered by.
Right.
Because the thing is, it's not about you being bothered by people. You
Mm-mm.
find out what's going on in you that caused you to be bothered, deal
Right.
with that, and keep on moving and keep on doing which the course that you set out for yourself. And things are going to come up to make us jaded, to stop us.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen, but we're supposed to stick and stay in what we're doing. And especially as an entrepreneur, it's tough out here to be an entrepreneur, because everybody is telling you, look, people are always trying to tell me to go get a job. And I'm like, but I want to be free, and I want to be an entrepreneur. So I'm going to have to deal with whatever comes up. I'm going to have to pursue and keep moving in what I know I'm supposed to be, despite what you think I'm supposed to be, because that's how you see life. I don't need to see life that way.
No, you don't. You can't let anybody define who you are. You have to do that for yourself. And when you do that and you take, ownership of who that person is and who you want to be, you can't let anybody knock you off your course. You can learn from, each and every person, but you can't let somebody define who you are. And I think too many times, we allow that to happen. And when you are an entrepreneur, it is not going to be easy. So, while I might be confident in my journey, there are times where, it truly is a path of blood, sweat, and tears, and it's not for everybody. So I wouldn't recommend entrepreneurship for everybody. But again, that saying that they have, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die, and it's very, it's like, a lot of people want this freedom, they want all these things, but there's a certain course that you have to take in order to pursue those dreams, and some people who are entrepreneurs are willing to pursue that course.
Wow, Victor. Okay, yes. I love that. Everybody want to go to heaven, but you're not willing to die.
Mm.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah. And that's not my quote. That's just, I'm just, I don't want to take anything.
But that was good. That's good. Nathan, we're gonna get to your question in about 3 minutes. I'm just gonna try to round out the rest of this time with Victor, because Victor hasn't given us. He talked about advice, and that you have to filter out the advice. So we want your advice, okay?
Yeah.
We want your advice, and also I want you to hit on you saying entrepreneurship is not for everyone. So what are the qualities of a person who is truly entrepreneurial?
I think a person that's truly entrepreneurial, they will find creative ways to solve everyday problems, and they have this natural, kind of inquisitive nature about themselves. They will naturally be, able to work outside of the crowd and be comfortable, and just have a kind of underlying desire to do something different, something meaningful. And those people, I think, make great entrepreneurs. They're typically, very, I guess, prone to connect to folks very quickly and learn and absorb and be helpful. I find some of the greatest entrepreneurs, they have a kind of a underlying sense of kindness, because they're taking, from the world what it has to offer, but they're also giving back as well. And, I just would encourage anyone that, where they feel like there's this greater calling, and they've kind of, realized they solve problems in different ways, and, they want some sort of freedom. If they're willing to go down a track of, really dedicated hard work, and they can take and deal with a lot of sacrifice, then yeah, entrepreneur may be the track for you, but I need to emphasize sacrifice. Yeah, again, like, don't be scared of sacrifice, because that will be part of your life.
Whoa. Okay. We're going to have to recap that right there. Thank you so much. I wrote it out. Okay. This is, look, to define entrepreneur, this is what it is. Victor said, you have to sacrifice and be ready for that. AKA, you got to die to go to heaven. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be inquisitive, or you should be inquisitive, always looking. You're
Mm-hmm.
always noting what's the problems and how you can fix it all the time. It's constantly in your mind things about, and you're also very curious about people. So you want to connect to see what they have and what they can offer you. And you're very reciprocal. I know you didn't say that, but I know what you mean, because that's how you
Mm-hmm.
are. And there's a desire to do something great. Like you have a calling, and you want to, a great calling, that you want to do something, and you're dedicated. And then also you mentioned something that I actually had not thought about, but you're right. Entrepreneurs who are truly entrepreneurs are kind. They are
Yeah, I think.
very, they are very kind, and they
Mm-hmm.
don't hoard information either.
Mm-mm. No, they don't. I think you have to operate in a way where you understand you can't achieve, some of these significant goals by yourself. You gotta learn. In order to learn, you have to be open to have a conversation. You can't just go to the library and pick up every book in the library and walk out and do amazing things. That's great if you can retain that information, but you're gonna need the help of somebody. In order to get that help, you're gonna have to build a relationship. And in order to build a relationship, you're gonna have to give back as well. And all these things go hand in hand. And people who tend to build those stronger relationships, they stay focused on improving and stay inquisitive over the course of time. I'm betting on them. I'll put my money on those people.
Okay, Victor is betting on you if you have those
Absolutely.
qualities. Yes.
Every
So
day.
okay, I know we have to start answering questions. But Victor, I have to, one more thing. Give, if you are a entrepreneur that's
Mhm.
stage one, that means you have an idea that you're trying to move to a hobby, you're trying to move to and put a business plan around it and structure, and you're ready to start doing those pieces. Stage one, give them some advice. If you're
Okay.
stage two and you're ready
Mhm.
to invest in yourself, and you're working on systems and structure and those kind of things, what would you give the advice to stage one and stage two entrepreneurs?
Okay, I love the question. It's a very deep question. And I'll give a general answer because that question, the answer to it really depends. So there are different types of businesses. There's brick and mortar business, there's lifestyle business, there's service oriented businesses, there's, basically intellectual property development type of businesses, and they all have nuances. So that advice, based on that question, would really depend. So in the most general way possible, uh, I would say, I mean, so first of all, be aware of someone that has all the answers, and to be very specific. No matter what you ask, uh, that's probably a problem in that advice. And so I try to, first of all, this advice is coming from an individual's perspective. Now, what I have done for 24 plus years is get products to global markets. So, but still, it is an individual perspective. If you have a business idea, and let's say that's stage one, the first thing that I would do was really work to understand, is there a problem that whatever business idea you have truly solves? And if it is a problem, you need to be able to quantify how big that problem is and how big that market is for that problem. That's the first thing I would do, because if you can't quantify the size of that problem and the value of that problem, then you're going to have a really challenging time developing a business around that because it's not valuable to anybody. So that is applicable across any type of business that you have. That's the first step.
That's good.
Mhm.
Ooh, I got so many questions just about that one. Go ahead and give me some the other advice.
Okay, so let's say that's the stage. That's the first stage. Stage two, let's say that you've quantified the problem, you got some momentum, and now you want to invest in yourself. Now you want to put, more resources toward it. That could be your individual resources, it could be getting a loan, raising capital, whatever it is. In that stage, my advice would be to truly surround yourself with individuals who have insight into that market, insight into, um, I don't know, how the market operates, how the idea, how it works, having pick holes at it. Uh, you need to have people who really are invested in helping you be successful. So get those people around you, and don't surround yourself with yes men and yes women. Surround yourself with people who have a genuine desire to see you do well, and that have knowledge of the industry and what you're trying to do. That's a really critical thing.
Woo! You know what, Victor? You excite me. You excite me. And the thing is, the reason why I say that is that's that he's the kind of, if you feel excited and inspired from interacting and talking and hearing him talk with you, that's the same feeling that you need to feel when you're getting your social support system and individuals that are going to challenge you to be the best version of yourself. They're going to tell you about that booger in your nose. They're going to
Mhm.
tell you to fix your tie. They put your crown on your head. They're going to always be asking questions and checking in with you physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Victor, woo, let's get to these questions. Okay, so Nathan in here asking questions. He says, does this freedom allow you financial freedom?
Uh, the idea is that financial freedom is a component of any kind of successful business. Now, the trick is that it may take you a while to get to that financial freedom. Again, a lot of people desire that and they want that, but it's an entire process that likely will include a lot of sacrifice before you get to that point. I've been at this, it's for 6 years, and let's say I got off to a pretty fast start in life. And then for 6 years, I haven't taken a salary. We just closed our first commercial contract. So I made tremendous sacrifices across those 6 years to get to this point. And from here, I'm looking up for the balance of this year, and next year should be looking really good. But it's 6 years into the process.
Yes. So definitely he's being honest, y'all. Like, it takes a while. I mean, the statistic says it takes 5 years for you to break even in your business. Like that's a statistic on business and ownership and being an entrepreneur. So it takes some time, you know.
And it really does depend on the type of business you're in too. Like I'll be more than welcome to have a conversation, offline off of this. But there's so many nuances to the different idea, the different market, the different business you might have.
And what will be that email? I'll put it in the chat. So Victor, what will be that email?
Oh, that's Victor.Brown
Uh-huh.
at excellentlife.com.
Okay. I'm gonna put it in here.
And that's excellent with an X, CELLENT, life.com.
Okay, I'm putting it in there so that people can reach out to Victor if you have any questions um, outside of this, or if you want to get more nuanced into it. I like that you said that if you have a catch-all answer or a catch-all advice, then you should be leery of that. I believe that should be true too, and that's how I see how I move. You have to personalize these things. Like people.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem that I feel like with entrepreneurs. Everybody want to say, okay, so this is the way you start your business. You do this, and this. It
Yeah,
has
you got
to
it. Yeah,
be personalized. Right?
absolutely. I had a conversation with someone the other day, and it was on Clubhouse, as a matter of fact. I think the topic was, if you were talking to an investor, what would you want to tell them? And I think my point was, meet me where I am. And so what I meant what I meant by that is that many times you'll come to the table, you have many conversations, and the first thing you need to do is get to know someone. And so you're getting to know these people, and you explain a little bit about your background. Like, my expertise is in product commercialization. I've not done accounting. I've not done finance. I'm not an attorney. So if you're talking about getting resources is going to help my business, sure, there are things I can learn about product commercialization, but that's not my weakness. I'm good there. I want someone to bring some legal advice, or let's talk about those type of resources. I don't need to know about some of the fundamentals of marketing and basics. We got that covered. We have a very experienced team. And I think many times when you go to these different programs, you have these different conversations, you have these cookie cutter approaches to the advice that you get that doesn't even really apply to you. And so I become at this point, very mindful of my time. And if I'm getting that type of advice, I'll be friendly and be nice, but I'll also kind of dismiss myself pretty quickly.
He being real out here, y'all. Ah! Means you need to get with a mentor and your social support system, or someone who can walk with you specifically hand in hand with your business. Like he said, get around. That means that you need to invest in a coach. You need to invest in people specifically that's going to help you, a counselor, someone that's going to help you to walk you through where you're going. The next question Nathan has is, when does your hobby turn into a successful entrepreneur?
Oh, me. That's a great question. Um, I think you have to kind of go into any kind of, business with the idea that it's going to be a business. I think it's really more difficult to start something as a hobby and all of a sudden realize, wait a second, this could be a business. And it's possible, but I think most of the successful businesses, you have someone going into it purposely with the idea is that this is something I love to do, and I can make, I can make a living doing this thing I love. So I don't have a great answer for your question, but in my mind, I think successful businesses, they're purposeful.
Mm. So just to kind of talk more about that, he's saying that if you do have a hobby, you have to sit and ask yourself, is going back to the whole question that he's answered. That question was quantify the size of the problem. You could be giving out, like, you think you have a hobby making t-shirts, right? Quantify the size of the people who need a t-shirt. Is that something that is going to make you some money? So then maybe you need to think about something that you're more purposeful about. What is it about the t-shirt that drives the need and the value for people to want to be working and interacting with your particular t-shirt? So that's what he's saying. Or you can go into a business where you know for a fact, I see a problem, kind of like what he said, his father, diabetes. He shouldn't have that kind of life. They can't travel like they should be able to. Well, he has created purposely a way to provide preventative care and a tool for individuals. And it's very purposeful. And so then he's motivated and dedicated to continue to see it progress into what it needs to be. Is there any closing? I don't have any other questions. Is there any closing thoughts before we get into announcements and things that you want to share to connect people with you?
Yeah, I would say that if you have an opportunity and would be interested in learning more about Excellent Life, we have our mobile app out there. Go check out the mobile app. It's called Excellent Life, Xcellent Life. It's in the Apple Store. It's in the Google Play Store, and we're gonna have a lot of fun, kind of helping people be more healthy and well. It's a pretty cool app. We're still evolving, so if you run into any issues or anything like that, hey, you got my email now. You can let me know. But it's going to be a great app, and we're hoping you're going to love it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Now, is that challenge still happening?
It is. We have this challenge, and so we're having a wellness challenge inside the app. And for the winners, we're providing a total of $2,500 across first, second, and third place, and some bonus awards as well. So it could be very much worth your time to be healthy and well by using the app and participating in that competition. The app itself is free. I think we're charging $2 for the competition. All this is done inside the app, where our app actually measures the level of your improvement for your wellness. And yeah, so come check it out, and the possibility of winning some money based on being more healthy and well.
Okay, I have put it in the chat, you all. I also put a link in there for you to click on it, especially if you're on your phone. You can click on that link that's in the chat, and it'll take you to Excellent Life, where you can download it and you can get started. It's a free app, like he said, and then you can pay $2 to be a part of the challenge. And how much was that money that you said?
It was a total of $2,500, and like the challenge is really fun for us. It's something that we're sponsoring, but quite frankly, like, and that was a lot of focus around that. But when we got that commercial deal, now we've got this deal looming that brought in some great revenue for the business. And so now there's an extra focus that's a part of the equation as well, which is great because we love being busy like this. So a very significant moment in the life and evolution of Excellent Life.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. I am so
Thank you very
excited
much.
for you. Can you talk more about that?
Well, I can tell you that our application will be deployed in a very large city in Alabama. It's a population health application. Someone has integrated our technology into their solution. And we also got word that our application is going to be deployed in 5 more cities. And so while all of that is going on, we're presently in a program in Singapore as well. So, which is a 13-hour time difference. So, um, people may not necessarily understand all the sacrifice. Missing out on a lot of sleep is part of the equation. You should get ready for that as well. So yeah, I work a lot of times around the clock. Not always. That's not part of the plan. I'm on a 7-year plan for this from today, a 7-year plan. But yeah, it's a lot of hard work involved to get to where I'm trying to go.
Amazing. Oh, thank you so much, Victor.
No, it's been a pleasure. Thank you
This
for
has
having me
been
on your show.
amazing. An amazing interview. I am so excited about like you, like they if you don't know, like, and trust this man right now, I don't know what you need in your life for you to know, like, and trust this man. If y'all don't get on this app and get y'all lives, okay, go on and get on there. Look, Victor, I'm getting
Thank you
on
so
there
much.
and I'm gonna keep on promoting this app. So, because people need to get on here. Look, every client I have, hey, you need to go check out Excellent Life, serious, because
So appreciated. So
it's. I
appreciated.
mean, it's just we need to be preventative and we need to take ownership of our medical care and also our mental care. So I don't know if your app has any of that in there, but if you take care of yourself with exercise, eating, and all the things that checking your medicine, it's going to make your mental health better. Like it's going to always be what you need.
Absolutely. We have a new version coming out in October as well.
Oh, what you say?
I said we have another version coming out in October as well. So we're consistently evolving the application. So it's really cool. Think about it as being like kind of the Apple app or Fitbit app on steroids. It's a lot in the app. So
And Shamika asked, "Are you on Facebook?"
I
Victor?
am. Would love to connect with Facebook, LinkedIn. Like I say, life is about connecting with other people and seeing what I can give and offer up the value, and it never fails that through a conversation I'm always learning something. So let's connect.
Victor Brown on LinkedIn. Also, if you didn't see earlier, I put a link to the Facebook group in the chat, and we also have a LinkedIn group as well for Nashville Startup Grind, and he's actually a member of the group and interacts in there with people. Like he was just interacting with someone about the app in there. So if you want to interact through the group or personally reach out to him, if you can't find him, come to the group. You can enter in. I would love for you to be there so you can get announcements and things. We have fun in this group. It's lots of celebration. I don't know if you saw the pre-show, the pre-event shenanigans that happened, but we had some shenanigans that happened in the group prior to this because I'm trying to get people to come. But anyway, everybody knows. I want you all to know this is going to go up on YouTube, and so you can always share this with other people, especially if you're trying to tell them about the app. They get to meet the founder, they get to meet the owner, they get to meet the creator of the app, and then they can go in there and get their preventative care taken care of. Thank you so much, Victor, for your time.
It's been a